The NMN banning request hit our longevity community by a storm. Not only because it's one of the most revered supplements in our toolbox against aging, but because the request for the banning of the NMN, submitted by the company co-founded by the very person who popularized the supplement, Dr. David Sinclair himself. There are so many things that don't make sense. And today we'll cover the 7 ridiculous things on this NMN banning request. And I truly hope that Dr. David Sinclair will watch this video too, and I invite him to this channel to voice his explanations. And I truly care about what you think, and I would like to hear your thoughts as well in the comment section. Now, let's start. Welcome to the Wellness Messiah podcast. I'm your host, Rimon. As of today, NMN sales status is still unknown, and I spoke with companies who said they received no warning or prohibition clues from any government. So right now, the good news is that NMN isn't banned yet. Therefore, in this video, I'll not refer to NMN banning, which is incorrect. I'm going to refer it as banning request of NMN. In case you haven't seen the previous video, we have covered the letter sent by Dr. David Sinclair's company to the FDA asking to protect the company's interests from competition from nutritional supplements. And since Dr. David Sinclair hasn't spoken since, it looks to me so far that he is in favor somehow of this request to take away NMN supplementation by the FDA from the consumer market. It's pure speculation until he speaks. Now, let me clarify something. I'm a follower of Dr. David Sinclair. I've been reading his studies since 2008, and I truly like him. And there is no taking away his contribution, no matter what happens with this NMN banning. His findings, his theories, and most importantly, he raised awareness to longevity and aging. Even if Dr. David Sinclair felt financially obligated to his company's investors, and therefore supported this NMN banning request, the above I mentioned about his contribution is without any doubt. And as I'm going to explain, the situation is not black and white. And my personal goal in that situation is to reduce judgment until I know all the details. However, having said that, there are a few things here that I cannot stop thinking about. And I feel angry a bit hurt because my love of Dr. David Sinclair. And I want to share them with you, and I sense that you too feel this way, because maybe you are too a follower of Dr. David Sinclair, like myself. And believe me, had he came out and spoken, it would relieve a lot of my pain. But until he speaks, there are things that are pretty ridiculous that I would like to address, and maybe you can help me to reconcile in the comments. So, Dr. David Sinclair, from my understanding, poses to create a compound that is 1,000 times stronger than NMN. So if this new drug is so potent, NMN is no threat or competition to this company's product. However, if Dr. David Sinclair's investment in this company and all the money he recruited for that produce a product that is just as good as NMN, their entire endeavor is a waste and has no value to our community. In that situation, we should stick to the natural thing, NMN. If your product is better, prove it. Don't ask to outlaw the competitors. This is why this whole banning doesn't make any sense. And I find it hard to reconcile this with Dr. David Sinclair's own mission in his life. In addition, this drug that Dr. David Sinclair develops supposed to first of all treat sick people. So it's not like NMN is going to be used anytime soon to treat sick people. There is no competition here. We are light years away from approving NMN to be used in medical system. Listen, my wife is hospitalized for a stroke, and it took me over a month to convince the medical team to approve fish oil, completely safe, natural ingredient, into her diet. So, NMN, the new kid on the block, are you going to tell me that the medical system is now going to approve NMN for medical diseases? Can you see a doctor that has one option of prescribing MIB 626, which is the drug that Dr. David Sinclair's company developing? It has that approved as a drug, but he says to the patient, you know what, there is this natural thing that is not approved by the government to treat the diseases, and also your insurance company is not going to pay for it. But what do you say about buying that out of pocket and pay for the treatment plan yourself? it ain't gonna happen. And it's not like there is any financial interest to push NMN as a drug to be approved. Somebody has to push it. It takes a lot of time, money, and energy to approve supplement as a drug. Therefore, the profit Dr. David Sinclair's company can make from using a patented, successful MIB 626 are guaranteed as far as I can tell. So if NMN is not a true competitor and is not a financial threat, why to prevent people from using it? How does that fit into Dr. David Sinclair's mission? It makes no sense to me. This leads me to the second thing that makes no sense to me. When I first saw the live interviews by Dr. David Sinclair and his speaking events, I truly believed, and still do, that he has the purpose of serving humanity. I knew for a long time that aging is a serious issue, and we need people exactly like him to communicate that effectively. And he's doing exactly that. I honestly believe that Dr. David Sinclair has a mission of raising awareness to longevity and aging and combating aging. And I believe that this intention of helping humanity is genuine and is superior to anything else. When I say anything else, I include also the commitment to investors in his companies. That's the very essence of what he's trying to do. And since I've been following his research for over 13 years now, I know that his research revolves around the sirtuins and the NAD levels in the body. These two, according to his research, are one of the keys preserving the body's youth and health. And based on his ideas, the best tool that we have together with diet and exercise to boost NAD is using supplements that are NAD boosters. And according to Sinclair's own choices and what he found in his lab, the best NAD booster that we have right now is NMN. So NMN is the cornerstone of his suggested strategy to activate those very mechanisms that he has been researching his entire career. Now, how preventing people from taking an NMN supposed to serve his higher purpose? Can you explain that to me? Even worse, in my opinion, it stifles research around NAD and NMN, because I think the stop of sale of NMN will stop the inflow of information, especially that we lack data on NMN, both in mice and labs, not to mention humans. So as a researcher myself, I do two things in the meantime. I try to experiment on myself, in this situation with my wife, and I also enjoy to read the experimentations by others. Listen, I'm taking full responsibility about the results I'm going to achieve or not to achieve with NMN and my wife's situation. It's a tiny study, but it's done on humans, not mice, and not yeast. And I want to document what happens, and just after a few days, I already noticed an increase in her recovery. Shouldn't other people find out what happens with my wife? Isn't that information valuable? And I want to know too what happens when you take NMN. And I want to know what you feel with your body. I do not encourage people to take risks with their bodies. But if you already made the decision without my recommendation, on your volition, I want to know what happened. If NMN is banned, it will stop the information flow of many people in our community. People who try things on their bodies and take full responsibility on the results. But still, we have a valuable information we can share with one another. So this NMN banning request hurts the flow of information. And I think it's also going to hurt the enthusiasm in our community, because I think many people start with this supplement, they feel better, and therefore they improve their diets and exercise. It depends on the individual, but some individuals really take pleasure of knowing that there is a supplement that is doing something useful in their bodies. It raises their self-esteem and therefore more motivation to do other things they know they should do. Why take it away from them? And listen, I think this enthusiasm in our community also affects the researchers. I think many studies are being done on NMN and NAD because of the enthusiasm of the possibility of taking NMN right now. And you know, those researchers are not so different from you and I. Those people, they also are excited about aging, reducing aging, and longevity. They want to live longer themselves. We don't want to stop that. And banning NMN, in my opinion, is going to reduce this enthusiasm that is so important to our longevity community and to the research and science around aging. Now, let's do a mind experiment. And I'm exaggerating for a purpose. Let's say that this drug, MIB 626, fully developed, let's say it's gonna be the most successful drug in human history. Will save humanity from aging. Even better, let's exaggerate. Let's say that all the governments all over the world accepting that aging is a disease and provides Dr. David Sinclair's drug to everyone, including healthy people like you and I. Sounds good. We are serving humanity here. So let's say that this is the future. This is Dr. David Sinclair's mission to humanity. But this drug hasn't been approved yet, and it won't be approved for the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm conservative here. You know, this drug may never get to be used at all. Look at Dr. David Sinclair's previous company, the resveratrol derivative company. They developed a drug called SRT-501. And as far as I'm aware, and please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, this drug has not been approved yet for any use. And Dr. David Sinclair sold this company in 2008. It's 15 years now. Imagine that in 2008, the company would have tried to limit the sale of resveratrol for everyone. I don't know what I would do because half of my subscribers are coming from resveratrol videos. Seriously, who knows the exact timeline of when this MIB 626 will become approved for use? Why take away a longevity tool now, when there is no alternative in existence? How does that fit Dr. David Sinclair's mission? Let's do a different mind experiment. Let's say that the drug is approved tomorrow. Could the people who are buying today NMN purchase this drug? No. This drug is not going to be available anytime soon to healthy people, and probably is going to be approved for a very specific disease first, so even other sick people won't be able to have access to this drug. In fact, Dr. David Sinclair himself stated that aging is neglected by medicine because it's not considered a disease. So if this drug is going to be approved tomorrow, besides NR, they will have no alternative to use NMN or to boost their NAD levels. So why to request to prevent its sale, the NMN sale, right now, when there is no alternative to anybody else, including most of the sick people? Besides taking NMN, Dr. David Sinclair claims that he takes other supplements. That includes fisetin, quercetin, resveratrol, of course, vitamin D, vitamin K, and others. Dr. David Sinclair's company's initiative is quite unique. It's one of the first times that we have heard about companies try to regulate supplements in order to protect their financial interests. Now, what happens if this initiative is going to be successful? Wouldn't it be a legal precedent for other drug companies to ban other nutritional supplements? You know, the camel's nose under the tent? Maybe this all-regulation request is going to start an entire front and a war on nutritional supplements. Is it really worth it? Can't you see the danger here beyond specific profit to a specific company? How does that correspond with the lifestyle that Dr. David Sinclair is following and all the other supplements he's taking to combat aging? David has been an advocate of personal responsibility. Time and again, he suggested that everyone should track their own bodies, do active things to reduce aging. He also goes ahead and tells us the exact steps he has been doing and what he has been doing with his father, and that includes also taking NMN. And I fully agree with this position. We should have the freedom and autonomy over our bodies. Listen, I went through 12 surgeries, and believe me, I know, if a doctor makes a mistake, I'm gonna pay for that for the rest of my life, not the doctor. Therefore, I have the autonomy and responsibility over my body. And this is exactly why I agree with Dr. David Sinclair. We need to be proactive. We need to think. We need to be responsible because we're gonna pay or benefit from the result with our health, with our bodies, not anybody else. So David and I have similar attitudes. Now, the question, how do you reconcile this attitude, this personal responsibility message by Dr. David Sinclair, with Dr. David Sinclair's company approaching the government and in essence asking from them to transfer the power of the use of NMN supplement from the consumer to the government. I find it very difficult to reconcile this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Can you reconcile this with everything I've heard from Dr. David Sinclair? Let me first state that I do not provide medical advice here, nor I encourage the use of supplements for treating medical condition, nor do I encourage any behavior for anyone, nor I recommend anything. However, I do read the comments, and many people in our longevity community found that NMN has been helpful for their individual conditions, and for the conditions of relatives and family members, people they love the most. If you are in that position, I feel you, because I'm finding NMN very useful with my wife's strokes, and I'm going to document those results in progress in this channel. So it's super scary to find something that is helping a condition that makes our lives hell. And now this tool is going to be taken away from our hands? I'm lucky and grateful because today I received a package where Do Not Age sent me in order to support my wife's situation. And I know that despite NMN banning speculations, they continue to sell that and provide that to the rest of the community. And I was stressed for a while until they sent me this package. So I do feel your pain or anxiety if you are too in this situation when it helps you and you're afraid it's going to be taken away. So let's get back to the ridiculous thing. What about some empathy for our situation? For the situation of people who are now dependent on NMN access in one way or another, to function, to live, to have a quality of life. And Dr. David Sinclair came across to me, and I still believe that he is a very empathetic and caring human being. Even more so, like I take care of my wife, Dr. David Sinclair takes care of his father. He supplies his father with NMN. And maybe his father too now became dependent with his aging on NMN. So the whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. This is why I want him to come out and explain. I don't want to judge. I want to listen. It has been a month since this controversy came out. Why hasn't Dr. David Sinclair spoken at all? Almost every day I look at his Twitter account to see maybe a response from him. And so far, the only post I've seen in his Twitter account has to do with climbing mountains. Let me tell you my take on this. Sometimes staying silent during a controversy works. Truly. But for me, here, in this situation, it doesn't work. I'm waiting for a response or a statement from Sinclair. Staying silent here isn't up to par with my expectations of him. And believe me, once he comes out and explains that, I'm going to root for him. I want to believe to everything he says. But please speak. Explain. If David Sinclair sees this video, you're invited to this channel to explain. I'm not going to attack you, I promise. I'm going to root for you to convince me and the rest of our longevity community how this request is going to serve humanity in our longevity community. I realized this week that the whole NMN banning request truly hurt me, It hurts me not just because I'm using this supplement with my wife. It hurts me also because I think the science of NMN, the experimentation by our entire community, holds high value to our human society. And I read comments of people whom NMN supplementation truly improved the quality of their lives and the quality of the lives of the people they love the most. And my last note is for you, the viewer. If you too were taken by surprise, if you too a bit offended, a bit hurt, a bit angry, I truly understand you. I am your exact position. I'm confused. I want to know what happens. I don't believe that he intends to hurt our longevity community. And I find it difficult that Dr. David Sinclair is going to do anything that is going to stifle innovation and longevity in our human society. I don't have all the details of what happens behind the scenes in Dr. David Sinclair's company, and I don't want to be judgmental on things that I do not know. It could be that Sinclair is pressured, forced, or contractually obligated to support this request from the FDA. And maybe he has made a mistake. Maybe he regrets. He's just human. And I'm fully aware that a company is comprised of many individuals, including investors, And no one person makes all the decisions, not even Sinclair in his company that he co-founded. So it's not a black and white situation. Now for the next project. First of all, thank you so much for all the patrons who support this channel. It helps me a lot to manage my wife's stroke situation. Most of the time, I'm with her next to her bed. So it helps me a lot financially and allows me to produce more videos. I know that not everyone uses Patreon, so this week I opened the option to support my channel via YouTube subscription. And I added some bonuses there. You can get there by clicking the join button when you go to the homepage of my channel. And I have another exciting announcement. I surveyed both the subscribers but also the patrons, and the patrons decided about the next video I'm going to produce. So the next video I'm working on is a response video to Brett Stanfield's position on why he doesn't take fisetin and quercetin video, where I go deeper into the ITP, their strength and weaknesses. And you're going to find a lot of saucy details there that you did not expect. Until this video comes out, stay young, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.